Hello everyone, good evening. Warm welcome to Super Coaching Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel by Testbook. My name is Madhav. I welcome you all in a very important session where we are going to discuss the finance current affairs. I think there was some issue due to which the session got delayed, but I guess now it's fine. I'm audible, visible, everything is fine. We are good to go. Just let me know in the comment section with a thumbs up that are we good to go so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. I'm pretty sure the way you are enjoying, the way you are loving the sessions on regular basis, this session is also going to be a very important session for you and you must be loving this session as well. But before we start, just give me a thumbs up if everything is fine. Okay, now let's do one thing guys, our regular practice as we do. Let's copy the link of this session, share it with our friends. You also do the same, I'm also doing the same, so that more and more students, they can join us live right away and they can have the benefit of this particular session itself. Okay, and once you have done the sharing of this session, just give me yes sir in the comment section, then we'll begin. As you have given your feedbacks as well as suggestions, I will be doing or I will be going in the same manner. So in the same manner, I will be discussing with you the previous day covered news. That means firstly we'll quickly revise the questions based on the news which we have covered in our last session, and then we will be moving ahead for the current day's news. I hope we are good to go guys. I hope we are good to go. If we are good to go, just give me yes sir in the comment section so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Okay. So here we go with the first question of the evening. But before I go to the first question of the evening, guys, if you have any doubt from today's session or maybe regarding your preparation and all, you can feel free to comment below in this particular session or in this particular session's comment section after the session is completed, and I'll try my level best to go through with each and every comment, and I'll try my level best to answer each and every doubt of yours, whether it is related to finance or it is related to your day-to-day preparations. Chalo, here we go with the first point or the first question of the evening. The first question is now on your screen. Guys, this time I have added a 20-second timer and you are supposed to answer the question in 20 seconds itself, because when we will be sitting in general awareness section, I'm talking about phase 1. As you all know that in phase 1, you will be getting what? So in case of phase 1, you will be getting the time that is 25 minutes, and in 25 minutes you are supposed to, solve 80 questions. So 25 minutes, 80 questions, you will be getting somewhat around 20 seconds, less than 20 seconds for every question. So keep that in mind. Chalo ji. So here we go with the first question. The first question is now on your screen. Timer will start and you need to answer the question. Here you go. Which of the following statements are correct? Currency chest handle functions like inward cash processing, vaulting and cash movement and are operated by the designated bank branches under RBI supervision. The preamble of RBI Act emphasizes maintaining price stability while being mindful of the objective of economic growth. A currency chest acts as a custodian. One of the Reserve Bank of India's core purpose as per preamble is to regulate the issue of banknotes. Section 35 gives RBI statutory powers to intervene in the bank management decisions to protect depositors as well as the broader financial system. So which of the following statement is correct according to you? No answer yet in the live chat. No answer yet in the live chat. Guys, I'm still waiting. Okay, so the answer to this particular question, guys, currency chest handle the functions such as inward cash processing, that is true. Inward cash processing, that is true. Vaulting, that is also true, as well as cash movement, it's also true. They are operated by the designated bank branches under RBI supervision, that is correct. Preamble of RBI emphasize maintaining the price stability while being mindful of the objective of economic growth. Yes sir, this is the target on RBI as set under preamble. Currency chest act as a custodian of currency. Yes, currency chest is custodian because it is keeping the currency safe on the behalf of RBI, but it is managed by the bank and are classified into full-fledged chest and small coin deposits with periodic RBI inspection. That is also true. One of the RBI's core purpose as per preamble is to regulate the issue, printing as well as distribution of banknotes. That is true. Section 35 of RBI Act gives, Section 35A of Banking Regulation Act gives RBI the power to intervene in bank management decisions to protect depositors and broader financial system. So I would say which is correct? Sir, all of the above. All the 5 statements are correct. This was the news which we have discussed in the previous session. I hope these 3 things are clear. One is currency chest. Second point is Section 35. Third point is the preamble of RBI. Moving on to the next question. Guys, the next question talks about which of the following statement regarding RBI's revised framework for opening currency chests in the northeastern region and inaccessible hilly areas of J&K and Ladakh is correct. The revised framework allows the reimbursement of up to 1 crore. No, sir. Reimbursement is allowed up to 50 lakhs. It's not 1 crore. Only 25% of the revenue expenditure incurred for the first 5 years. No, sir. This is 50%. 50% of the revenue expenditure will be reimbursed for the first 5 years. The revised provisions are applicable only to the new applicants submitting on or after the issuance of this master direction. That is true. A maximum capital cost reimbursement is up to what? Sir, it is up to 50 lakhs. That is true. Under the new guidelines, 50% of the revenue expenditure is eligible for reimbursement. That is also true. So I will say what all are the correct options. C, D and E are the correct options. So these are the 3 options which are correct. If you were present in the previous session, then you must be enjoying this discussion. If you were not present, nothing to worry. This is I have in total 5 questions on the latest RBI master direction which is related to currency exchange, not currency exchange, it is currency change, which is related to soil notes, mutilated notes, incentives which are being announced by RBI for the banks who are involved in these operations. Fine guys, moving on to the next point. The next point says which of the following statement regarding the RBI's operational framework for note exchange, coin distribution and cash deposit service is or are correct. Banks, they will receive 2 rupees per packet for exchanging the soil notes regardless of the denomination involved. Sir, banks will receive 2 rupees per packet. That is true. This is correct. But regardless of the denomination involved, this is wrong because here the denomination which is involved is up to 50. 50 is included. But if the denomination is above 50, that is 100 and above, no incentive will be given. So according to that, A option is incorrect. For mutilated notes, banks are eligible to receive 2 rupees per piece. That is correct. An incentive of 65 rupees per coin bag is paid. An additional 10 rupees per bag is paid only for the urban and metro regions. No, sir. C option is incorrect because this 10 rupees extra will be paid for rural and semi-urban region. For rural and semi-urban region. I hope this point is also clear. Moving to the next. Under the linkage scheme, large modern currency chests are allowed to charge services of 8 rupees per 100 pieces deposit by the non-chest branches. That is true. So it is 8 rupees and 5 rupees. 8 rupees is charged by the modern currency chest and 5 rupees is charged by the other currency chest. So answer is going to be B, D and E option is correct. Let me see who all have given the correct answer. Anyone? Okay. Bhogesh has given the correct answer. Very good, very good. Chalo, good going. Let's move on to the next question, guys. Here we have the next question on the screen. What does the next question says? Which of the following statements regarding the classification and handling of currency notes as per Reserve Bank of India 2009 is or are correct? So basically you need to identify options related to what is soiled note, what is imperfect note, what is mutilated note. I don't know, but I'm expecting this question or question around soiled, mutilated, concept related question is what I am expecting in the phase 1 examination this time related to these notes. So please read the question. I give you 20 seconds. First you read the question, then I will be answering it. Okay, done. Let me see your comments. No one has yet answered. Guys, you have not revised the PDF from the previous session. If you'll do this way, I won't continue discussing the previous day questions with you. If you'll come up with this type of response, then sorry guys, it takes great effort to come up with these kind of statement based tough questions. But if you're not revising, I'm really very sorry, I won't be able to continue this practice because it is wastage of energy, wastage of sources, everything. Chalo, I'll quickly wrap up this part. So a soil note includes a note with two pieces pasted together only if both pieces are from the same note and no essential features are missing. That is soil note, that is correct. Next point, a mismatched note refers to a note composed of more than two pieces with the portion missing due to wear and tear. So that is not a mismatched note, that is mutilated note. Imperfect note may be shrunk, washed, but it is not considered mutilated under the RBI classification. Yes sir, that is correct. Imperfect क्या है? Sir, soiled का मतलब है वो नोट जो फटा हुआ है, दो पीस में है बट जुड़ा हुआ है, दो पीस में है लेकिन जोड़ दिया, दिस इज सॉइल्ड नोट. एक नोट है जो गल गया, आपकी पॉकेट में था, धुल गया, गल गया, वो है आपका इम्परफेक्ट नोट. म्यूटिलेटेड नोट का मतलब है ऐसा नोट विच इज इन मोर देन टू पीसेस एंड मे बी वन ऑफ द पीस इज मिसिंग एंड द लार्जेस्ट piece, undivided piece which is available, that will be responsible or that will be used by the bank to decide the exchange rate. Moving to the last, a mismatched note is the note which have two halves and different notes. इसका मतलब दो अलग अलग नोटों को what you have done is you have pasted two different notes to make a single note, and you can identify with the help of note number because note number is on both the sides, left as well as right, and uske basis pe this can be identified. So answer to this particular question is A option is correct, C is correct, D is correct, E is correct, but B option is incorrect. So mark this out. Moving on to the next point. Which of the following statement regarding the incentive mechanism related to the soil notes and coin distribution as per RBI are correct? Incentives on the soil notes are paid only when the notes are remitted in person to the RBI issue office. नहीं, RBI तक note पहुंचने चाहिए. It can be in person or it can be through the insured and registered post. Notes sent via registered or insured post as sealed cover are eligible for incentive. Yes sir. Incentives for the coin distribution are paid on gross withdrawals made by the currency chest irrespective of the actual. नहीं sir, जो incentives है for the coin distribution, they are paid on the net, they are paid on the basis of net distribution which is done. Currency chest branch must transfer the received coin distribution incentive to the linked branches. Yes sir. RBI regional office may verify the coin distribution. Yes sir. So according to this, C, D, E is correct, A and B are incorrect. So let's move on to the current day's news. Chalo ji. Here we have the first news of the evening. The first news of the evening is, sir, RBI launched 3 key surveys for monetary policy input. Now, what is this news all about? Please pay attention. Guys, we know that RBI comes up with monetary policy. And what is monetary policy? So, monetary policy is basically the policy implemented by RBI through which RBI controls the inflation rates of the country, and RBI tries to maintain the control inflation rates in the country. When RBI comes up with the monetary policy, so generally monetary policy conditions, monetary policy tools, they are revised on bi-monthly basis, and before this revision is done or before monetary policy committee meeting is done and the decision is to be taken that whether we should revise the tools, we should change the rates under the monetary policy or not, RBI need data, and that data is collected with the help of these surveys. So this is not the first time. Every time before or 1 month before the next meeting, for example, the last meeting happened in April. Now the next meeting will happen in June. So now in May, these 3 surveys will be released. That means the data will be collected from the public, and on the basis of the survey done by RBI, decisions will be taken under the monetary policy that whether we should revise the rates or not. We means RBI should revise the rates or not. So let's talk about this particular news. The Reserve Bank of India has initiated 3 major surveys aimed at gathering the crucial data to support its monetary policy decisions. So these surveys are basically used to assess the economic condition, the business sentiments, as well as the inflation expectations of the public, so that right policy can be framed in the next monetary policy committee meeting. Remember few things. The surveys, they are designed to collect the real-time data. So real-time data will be collected from different sectors of the economy, and these insights will help the RBI to craft the monetary policy for the next time. Now the point is, what are these 3 surveys? So the first survey we have is inflation expectation survey of household. It is also known as household inflation survey. In general, in informal manner, we also write it like this. So inflation expectation survey of household. If I talk about this inflation survey of households, it basically means it captures the short as well as medium term inflation expectations of urban households. In this particular survey, it helps RBI to understand the consumer's perception as well as the pricing behavior, that how price is going to change according to the consumer. How price is going to change as per the consumer. Remember guys, this short term, this medium term is defined. Whether it is 6 months, 1 year, it is defined, and this definition of time period has been already covered in my previous sessions. So I want you to give me the answer in the comment section, that short term means 6 months, 3 months, medium term means 6 months, 1 year, 2 year. Please check it and give me the answer in the comment section. Moving on to the second. First one is inflation expectation survey of the household. Now we have consumer confidence survey. Consumer confidence survey basically means we assess, or RBI assess, the current and future economic sentiments of consumers. It covers aspects like not only purchase of goods but also employment, also your income, spending, as well as overall sentiment. So here we only talk about what? So here we basically focus on the expenditure done by the families for their survival, for their day-to-day living. But here in this survey, we focus on the sentiments of the public, that what you believe, that what is going to happen with the inflation in the country, what is going to happen with your income in the near future, how your spending is going to be impacted. That data is collected under consumer confidence survey. Third one we have is industrial outlook survey. What is industrial outlook survey? Sir, industrial outlook survey basically gather the data from manufacturing companies. It gathers the data from the manufacturing companies on business performance. So remember that industrial outlook, as the name suggests, it gathers the data from the manufacturing companies on business performance, production, order book, employment outlook, and this data helps to understand. The confidence. This data helps to understand the confidence of the industrial sector, as well as it evaluates the short-term trend, that what is going to happen in the market, whether the inflation is going to increase or not, whether the employment is going to increase or not, whether production is going to increase or not. So this will help RBI to judge supply side of the economy, and first 2 surveys which we have discussed, that will help RBI to judge the demand side of the economy, and on the basis of demand and supply, RBI can actually focus or forecast the inflation rates, which will be more practical as per the expectations of the public, and then on the expectations, on the public sentiments, monetary policy will be framed. Is it clear, everyone? If it is clear, give me a thumbs up. Let's move on to the next point. The next point says how the data is collected. So RBI is not going to go house to house, or RBI officials will not be going on the roads to collect this survey. And secondly, it is not even a digital survey 100%. So in this particular digital survey means it's not a forms are circulated and you are fulfilling the forms. It's not like that. In person, data is collected. So in that particular case, field work, see, as the name suggests, field work is handled by Hansa Research Group Private Limited, which is a professional agency appointed by RBI in Mumbai itself. If I talk about the reason, I would say Hansa Research Group Private Limited is conducting the RBI surveys from quite long now. That is the reason RBI is confident on this particular data collected by this particular firm. If I talk about the policy relevance, so these surveys, they are relevant for RBI bi-monthly monetary policy decisions. The data will help in forecast the inflation trend and assess the economic recovery, especially in the dynamic global context. Is it clear, everyone? So these are the benefits of this particular initiative. So remember, 3 surveys are conducted by RBI on regular basis, and the surveys which are conducted by RBI on regular basis is generally introduced, or the survey data collection starts a month ago or a month before the monetary policy committee meeting. So this has been introduced. So these 3 surveys you need to remember. One thing I think I missed, cities covered. Yes, I missed it. Cities covered. So number of cities covered. So in these surveys, 19 major cities of the country are covered, obviously including the metro cities, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and even Bengaluru and Hyderabad, and the other important cities of the country are included. So in total, we have 19 cities from where this data is collected. Moving on to the second news. The second news talks about note sorting machine. I hope you might have heard about note sorting machine. Whenever you approach to bank, you must have seen that before cashier accept the cash, or before cashier pays you the cash in the hands of the cashier will be first put in the machine, and then the cash will be sorted. It will not only be counted, it will also be reviewed. It will also be checked that whether it is I would say it's a real currency note or not, and if it is fake, that fake currency note can also be identified with that from that sorting machine itself. There is a new announcement done by RBI related to this sorting machines. So banks, they are employing the sorting machines in huge number these days, but now there has been a standard introduced that according to BIS, BIS means I'm talking about Bureau of Indian Standards. According to BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, they have identified some requirements. Some conditions which are ought to be fulfilled by a note sorting machine. So as per BIS, now they have given a certain certification. They have announced about a certain certification, and RBI is saying all the banks, they are responsible to employ only those नोट sorting machines जिनके ऊपर ये सर्टिफिकेट है. अगर उनके पास वो सर्टिफिकेशन नहीं है, then you cannot use those machines without certificate of or without this ISO standards. Is it clear? So let's read it out. In order to future strengthen the banknote sorting architecture across the country, BIS, after due consultation with RBI and other stakeholders, RBI has come up with this announcement that the note sorting machine, as per Indian standards, IS 18663/2024 in the Gazette of India on 19th March 2024. So it has been announced that if a bank is employing a note sorted machine, it should have these standards, or it should have this certificate, which means that yes, this machine has passed all the requirements under this particular certification. It is fit to use. So this announcement was made on 19th of March 2024 और कहा गया 19th of March को 2024 को जब ये standards बाहर आए, तब clearly कहा गया कि banks they will be deploying all these note sorting machines which have the current or which have the required Indian standards as per BIS. तो RBI ने कहा banks को कि भैया आपके पास ऑलमोस्ट 1 साल है, या 1 साल से भी कुछ ज्यादा समय है, 1 साल और 1 महीना है अगर हम ऐसा कहें। तो इन 13 months में यू शुड डिप्लॉय, in these 30 months you should deploy only those not sorting machines which possess these standards, which possess this certification. But unfortunately it has been viewed कि banks, they are not still in a position to achieve these targets, and if banks they are not in a position to achieve these targets, RBI has extended the guideline. RBI has extended the guideline. ये न्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों हुई? लास्ट क्लास में हमने मास्टर डायरेक्शन पढ़ी थी रिलेटेड टू दी करेंसी एक्सचेंज और करेंसी नोट एक्सचेंज, सॉइल नोट्स, इंसेंटिव्स, म्यूटिलेटेड नोट्स, उसी से मिलता जुलता उसी का कंटिन्यूएशन है दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज। दैट इज द रीजन इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, पूछे जाने के चांस है। और अगर पूछे ना भी जाए, अगर पूछा ना भी जाए और अगर क्वेश्चन आपके सॉइल्ड या म्यूटिलेटेड नोट्स पे आएगा, देन आल्सो यू कैन रेफर, बिकॉज दीज नोट sorting machines, they won't only identify the note which is fake, they also identify the notes which can be termed as mutilated note, soiled note. So they identify that yes, this note quality is not appropriate, it should not be allowed for circulation. So that type of technology is involved in these machines. So these standards specify the performance of and safety requirements of these machines, and that is the reason this has to be done. So these requirements include criteria specified in the guidelines. Time to time, see, soiling, limpiness, then we have dog ears, tears, holes, stains, folds. तो इन सब चीजों को क्या करेगा, ये आइडेंटिफाई करेगा, और ये जो आइडेंटिफिकेशन इट विल मेक द वर्क ऑफ RBI easy to achieve the targets of clean note policy. समझ आ गई बात? तो दूसरी न्यूज क्या कि भैया जो नोट सॉर्टिंग मशीन है, वो नए तरह की नोट सॉर्टिंग मशीन, नया सर्टिफिकेशन, नए स्टैंडर्ड्स अनाउंस किए गए बाय BIS. They were supposed to be deployed by 1st of May 2025, but now the deadline has been changed from 1st May to 1st of November 2025. These machines will not only help in curbing the flow of fake notes in the country, but it will also help in curbing down or in achieving the targets of clean note policy which has been introduced by RBI. Done guys? Clear? Sure. Moving on to the next point. The next point we have, ATM dispense 100 and 200 denomination banknotes on regular basis. I hope आपको पता होगा, या practically you must have felt it. Whenever you go to the ATM, I think after demonetization or after COVID, it is a trend. After COVID, it is a trend. After demonetization also, it's a trend कि majority जो withdrawals है which you make from a ATM, it include only and only 500 rupee note. Earlier 500 and 2000 rupee note, now 2000 have been discontinued by RBI. तो जब भी ATM पे जाओ 5000, 10000, 15000 कितना भी withdraw करो, end of the day you are going to receive only and only 500 rupee denomination notes only. So it is very difficult for the public to use those 500 rupee notes, because our general expenditure is in a range of 100 or 200. So we need 100 and 200 rupee note for our, I would say, for our effective cash expense. So इस चीज को दिमाग में रखते हुए RBI has given the targets, RBI has given the guidelines for the banks as well as the white label ATMs. I hope you all know white label ATMs are those ATMs which are operated by the private companies, and these private companies, they receive license from RBI, then they get access to the national financial switch, and then only they can provide you with the ATM services. And if you are using the white label ATM, that means you are involved in interbank ATM transactions. If you have free transactions left for the month, that is 5 in non-metro cities and 3 in the metro cities, then it's fine. Otherwise you will be paying the charges, and now the charges have increased as we have discussed in the previous session. So please comment in the comment section, what are the increased interbank ATM charges? What are the increased interbank ATM charges as discussed in the recent times? ठीक है जी. Now coming back to the news. तो RBI ने कहा कि नहीं यार ऐसा नहीं होगा. Banks, you should increase the withdrawal of 100 as well as 200 rupee notes through your ATMs. उसके लिए कुछ guidelines भी है, उसके लिए कुछ targets भी है. वो targets क्या है? पहला target है by September 30, 2025, यानी कि 30th September 2025 तक 75% 75% of all ATMs in India should be capable of dispensing either 100 or 200 rupee notes for at least one cassette. One cassette? Have you ever heard this term cassette? And that too with respect to the ATM? नहीं, ये देख लो. I hope whenever you go to an ATM, you have always seen this chamber to be closed. But if I open this chamber, it includes these kind of trays, and these are the trays where currency notes are placed. It looks like this. It opens up and you place the currency notes, और वहीं से वो currency note गिनकर आपको यहाँ पे machine का जो outlet है या यहाँ पे जो outlet होगा वहां से आप क्या करते हैं, cash withdraw करते हैं. So these packages, are basically known as what? So these are the cassettes. And what RBI is saying कि अगर आपके ATM में let's suppose 4 कैसेट्स हैं तो उनमें से कम एक कैसेट 100 की हो या फिर 200 रुपी डिनोमिनेशन की हो, और ऐसा इंडिया के 75% ATMs में होना चाहिए बाय 30th of September 2025. बाय 30th of September 2025. ठीक. दूसरा टारगेट है बाय 31st of March 2026, और ये टारगेट क्या है कि सर this figure is set to increase to 90%. मतलब 90% of the ATMs should regularly dispense either 100 or 200 rupees of note, again at least one cassette. तो भैया अगर इंडिया में टोटल जो बैंक्स हैं उनके ATMs है लेट्स से 2 लाख, वाइट लेबल मिला लिए तो 2,15,000. एग्जाम्पल ले रहा हूं, I don't know, don't take me wrong. हाँ, let's say total we have 2.50 lakh ATMs which are operating in the country. If we have 2.5 lakh ATMs operating in the country, then out of these ATMs, 75% ATMs should start dispensing 100 or 200 rupee note from 30th of September 2025, at least one cassette. And by 31st of March 2026, this number or this count और this percentage should increase to 90%. तो पहले 75% का टारगेट अचीव कर लो सर 30 सितंबर तक, फिर 31 मार्च तक टारगेट अचीव कर लेना 90% का. दिस इज द अनाउंसमेंट डन बाय आरबीआई. क्लियर हो गया, समझ आ गया? चले आगे. चलो, इससे ज्यादा इसमें कुछ है नहीं खास, बाकी आप चीजें पढ़ लीजिएगा. आई हैव गिवन द एंटायर डिटेल. मैंने इसको एक कंक्लूजन की फॉर्म में भी दे दिया सो दैट इट विल सेव योर टाइम. बस इतनी न्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन न्यूज काम की है. But this news is important. There is a probability that it will be asked in the examination. ठीक है, moving on to the next news. अब अगली न्यूज को ध्यान से सुनिएगा. मास्टर डायरेक्शन आरबीआई के बारे में बात करते हैं, लेकिन उस मास्टर डायरेक्शन पे जाने से पहले आई होप यू माइट हैव heard about FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. Foreign Exchange Management Act is basically a law. It is basically the rules and regulations which have been framed by the government of India, and these rules and regulations are related to those activities which involve foreign exchange. Foreign exchange means you are converting rupees into dollars, you are converting dollars into rupees, you are converting rupees into, for that matter, any other foreign currency, or you are converting any other foreign currency into rupees. All these transactions may be for investment, maybe for borrowing, maybe for remittances. All these kind of transactions, they are recorded, they are managed, they are ruled as per FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. ठीक है जी. So in case of Foreign Exchange Management Act, we include any overseas company owned by NRI, that will be the part of, that means you are making the investment, you are converting your rupees into dollars. So all different types of activities which involve the flow, which involve the exchange of currency, it is judged, it is ruled, it is managed under Foreign Exchange Management Act. Before FEMA, we had FERA, that is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973, but later on India witnessed LPG liberalization, privatization, globalization, and in order to achieve the targets under liberalization, privatization, globalization, FERA, that is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, was not a support, rather it was a kind of breaker, it was kind of stopper. So that was the reason regulation norms were revised, and from the word regulation, where we were regulating the country that you should not exchange the currency or you should not involve in foreign exchange, now rather than restricting them, now we are managing the foreign exchange. Management means now we ask our country to please involved in the foreign exchange transactions because we are moving towards, or we were moving towards after 1991 in open economy, rather than we were majorly counted as or looked as closed economy till 1991 since independence. So this was the story. So if you are a bank, if you are an importer or exporter, if you are a foreign currency exchanger, that means you are involved, you are under the rules and regulations of FEMA. On the other side, the second point is, under this particular act, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act, it has been clearly stated that foreign exchange market will be regulated by RBI. That means RBI is the regulator of foreign exchange market or forex market. That is not because of RBI Act, it is because the powers given to RBI under FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. RBI is responsible to provide the license to the organizations, to the individuals, to the firms, to the companies who are going to involve in the foreign exchange, and RBI call them as authorized dealers. So these authorized dealers, licensing, registration, license cancellation, penalties, inspection, supervision, everything is again done by RBI. Monitoring, regulating the forex market is also done by RBI. So RBI has a major role to play under FEMA. Now, recently, Government of India has revised, or Government of India has updated certain norms related to FEMA, and those updations done by the government are reflecting on the, or they are reflecting the operations of RBI as well, which I am going to discuss with you. What I have done is, I have divided this news into two parts. First part will be we will be talking about the government announcement, what announcement government has made, and second we will be discussing what changes, what announcement, what मास्टर डायरेक्शन हैज बीन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय आरबीआई। तो पहले ये समझ लेते हैं गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया और उसकी वजह से आरबीआई को क्या क्या चेंजेस करने पड़े, क्यों आरबीआई ने ये नया जो सर्कुलर है वो जारी किया। ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया। देखते हैं जरा, ओपनिंग अप द स्टेज फॉर यू। तो अगर आप ध्यान से देखेंगे, मास्टर डायरेक्शन कंपाउंडिंग ऑफ कॉन्ट्रावेंशन अंडर फेमा, मास्टर डायरेक्शन कंपाउंडिंग ऑफ कॉन्ट्रावेंशन अंडर फेमा। इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, बाकी की न्यूज तो बाद में पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन ऊपर के जो दो तीन टर्म्स हैं वो काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है। सबसे पहली टर्म तो ये है कि सर, इफ यू गो अगेंस्ट अ लॉ इन इंडिया, ऑब्वियसली देन अगेंस्ट द इंडिविजुअल, फर्म और अ कंपनी, लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स आर कैरिड ऑन। इफ लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स आर कैरिड ऑन, इन दोज लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स आपके ऊपर पेनल्टी चार्ज होगी। हो सकता है कि अगर ये क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस होगा देन यू विल बी रिसीविंग द इम्प्रिजनमेंट एज वेल। earlier the violation of FERA was recorded under criminal offense, it was recorded under criminal law, but now after FEMA, any offense, any I would say violation of FEMA will be the part of civil law. That means उसमें आपके ऊपर penalty charge हो सकती है. That is the part of civil law. That is what you need to remember. ठीक है, लेकिन सिविल लॉ का मतलब ये नहीं 100% सिविल लॉ. सिविल लॉ का मतलब है कि मेजॉरिटी जो आपकी वायलेशंस है दे विल अंडर सिविल लॉ, बट स्टिल देयर आर सर्टेन वायलेशंस लाइक ब्लैक मार्केटिंग और मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग as well as any other activity which can be money hawala. All these activities, financing of terrorism, all these activities will be the part of FEMA, but in that particular case we have the strict actions also, we have the criminal laws also. But in general, if you are making a mistake as a company, you will be treated under the civil law. अब इसमें होगा क्या, कंपाउंडिंग और कॉन्ट्रावेंशन, इन दोनों वर्ड्स का मतलब समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वरना ये न्यूज जीरो हो जाएगी. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले हम वर्ड का मतलब समझते हैं. जो हमारे पास सबसे पहला वर्ड है दैट इज कॉन्ट्रावेंशन. कॉन्ट्रावेंशन का मतलब क्या, वायलेशन. इफ यू आर एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन which is regulated or which is involved in the foreign exchange and you are supposed to fulfill, you are supposed to follow the Foreign Exchange Management Act, but unfortunately you have breached, unfortunately you have violated, unfortunately you have not followed the laws, the act the norms which are mentioned under Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, then it is termed as what? So that is termed as contravention. So please pay attention. Contravention means any violation of Foreign Exchange Management Act, including its provisions or its rules or its regulations, notifications, directions, will be termed as what? That is contravention. Violation of any condition under which an authorization is issued by RBI. So the authorizations which are issued by RBI, if you are violating it, or the rules which are mentioned under FEMA, both will be considered as contravention done by the entity. If this contravention is done, then in that particular case, a penalty up to 3 times the sum involved, penalty up to 3 times, जो भी आपका sum involved है कॉन्ट्रावेंशन में, मान लो आपने 3 लाख रुपए की रिपोर्टिंग नहीं की करनी थी, तो उसमें 3 times the value, that is 9 lakh rupees is ought to be paid as a penalty. लेकिन अगर कोई ऐसी आपने ट्रांजैक्शन की which cannot be quantified, we cannot quantify the amount कि आपकी वो जो गलती है वो अमाउंट फॉर्म में कितनी है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू वर सपोज टू इन्फॉर्म about a particular transaction or about a particular information you have received on foreign exchange, but you have not reported to RBI in time. So in that particular case, you cannot quantify the value of this particular penalty. So if you cannot quantify the transaction value, you cannot calculate the penalty value, and in that case, penalty value will be up to 2 lakhs. If the contravention continues, so today you have been caught and penalty have been charged, and if you have not made the payment, if you have not paid that penalty value, then on daily basis 5,000 rupees will be imposed. So if the contravention continues, a further penalty of 5,000 per day may be imposed after the first day of contravention. So from the first day of contravention, 5,000 rupees per day penalty will be charged if this contravention continues. समझ आ गई बात? क्लियर हो गया ये पॉइंट? तो अगली बार अगर आपसे कोई पूछे what is contravention? So contravention is a general term. It has nothing to do with FEMA. It is a general term. Contravention means when a particular law, act, guideline, provision is breached, violated, not fulfilled, not followed, we call it as contravention. But second point is very interesting. Second point we have is compounding. Now the question is, what do you understand by the word compounding? So compounding का मतलब है, it's a voluntary act. Voluntary act का मतलब, I am a company, I am an entity, I have breached, I have violated any of the Foreign Exchange Management Act guideline, norms, rules. In that particular case, I myself go and inform RBI, or for that matter any department of the government, whichever is responsible. I'm not getting into it, but I will myself go and inform कि sir मुझसे गलती हो गई है, I'm here, I'm ready to receive all kind of penalty because this is the mistake I have done. तो जब आप खुद जा रहे हो, अपनी mistake को खुद admit कर रहे हो, obviously the authorities, they will come up in a very lenient manner with you. They will be very lenient and pretty low penalties will be charged. So that penalty values, what will be the value of penalty and all, I will be discussing it later on. But the phrase is, this is the situation. And remember, I'm not talking about this penalty value. This is in general. This is in general. It is not with specific to RBI and FEMA. We will be discussing about these penalty values. This is in general. This is as per the penalty which is announced by Government of India. So government says overall this is the penalty value, but RBI has come up with different penalty values, obviously less than the value which is mentioned, different penalty values depending upon the contraventions done. So we will be discussing those penalty values specifically for sure. ठीक है जी? Moving on to the next point. So what is compounding? So compounding is a mechanism where a person who has contravened, who has not followed the FEMA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1999, can voluntarily admit the contravention and seek to resolve it by paying the penalty to RBI. Why RBI? Because RBI is the regulator of forex market, RBI is the regulator of implementation of, or RBI is the implementing authority of FEMA in the country. Second point is it is the voluntary process, meaning the person must choose to admit the contravention and seek compounding. कि भैया आप खुद जा रहे हो कि सर मुझसे गलती हुई है, प्लीज जो भी पेनल्टी आई एम रेडी टू पे, दैट इज नोन एज कंपाउंडिंग. बट इफ आरबीआई आइडेंटिफाइज थ्रू इट्स इन्वेस्टिगेशंस, और इन्वेस्टिगेशन से आरबीआई ने आइडेंटिफाई करके आपके ऊपर आपको पकड़ा, सो दैट इज नॉट कंपाउंडिंग, दैट इज यू आर चार्ज्ड गिल्टी. Here I know I am guilty and I admit it, I am ready to pay penalty. So that is known as compounding. When you yourself reach to the regulators, you yourself reach to the reporting authority that sir I have done this wrong, I am ready to pay the penalty, that is known as compounding. Remember, if I talk about compounding, sir, it provides way to resolve FEMA violations without the need of full legal process. तो भैया जो पूरा legal process चलता, पहले इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती, फिर उसमें एग्जीक्यूटिव बॉडीज इन्वॉल्व होती, harsh actions लिए जाते, harsh penalties announce की जाती, that has not been, or I have saved myself from all those things, because आज नहीं तो कल if I have breached this act and if I'm not very I would say sharp, I'm not very intelligent, then I will be caught maybe a day or later. So it's better, let's go ourselves and admit it. And if you're admitting your mistake and you're ready to pay the penalty, that is known as voluntary process and we call it as compounding. When is compounding possible? So compounding is possible, compounding is available for contraventions which are defined under section 13. So all the contraventions which are defined under section 13 of FEMA Act, they are defined only for all those defined contraventions compounding is possible, but compounding is not possible for the contraventions done under section 3A. Now you must be wondering कि सर सेक्शन 3A में, सेक्शन 3A में कौन से ऐसे कॉन्ट्रावेंशंस हैं, कौन से ऐसे कॉन्ट्रावेंशंस हैं? तो उसका आंसर है सर सस्पेक्टेड मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग और टेरर फाइनेंसिंग, दे आर नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर कंपाउंडिंग. उस केस में आरबीआई के सामने कंपाउंडिंग नहीं होगी. आरबीआई डू नॉट पोजेस द पावर टू हैंडल द कंपाउंडिंग रिक्वेस्ट अंडर सेक्शन 3 बिकॉज इट इज आउटसाइड द आरबीआई जुडिक्शन. यहां पर जितना भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, जो भी रेजोल्यूशन है, जो भी सेटलमेंट है, जो भी पेनल्टी है, दैट विल बी डन बाय योर एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट और डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ एनफोर्समेंट, दैट इज बेटर. सो उनके द्वारा किया जाएगा. Now remember that individuals or entities they can apply for compounding within 180 days from the date of contravention. ऐसा नहीं contravention किया था पिछले साल और आज एकदम से डर लग रहा है कि कहीं पकड़ा ना जाऊं. And if you're coming after 1 year of your contravention, it won't be accepted. In that particular case, it won't be compounding. It will go through the other channel, that is first RBI will identify you and then RBI will charge hard and harsh penalties. So you have a time span कि आज अगर गलती की, if you are making something wrong, if you have done something wrong, you have a window of 180 days and in those 180 days you need to report to the RBI. If I talk about FEMA. Moving to the next point. What are the process of compounding? First, you will apply. So RBI said now if you have any compounding request, then you have to apply only and only from Pravaha portal as it has been clearly mentioned, and even you can apply through physical visit as well. That means you can use the Pravaha portal or you can physically visit the RBI in order to register your compounding request. At the time of application, RBI is charging fees if you want to apply, and that application fees is flat 10,000 rupees for all types of contraventions which you have done. So it's going to be flat 10,000 plus GST. RBI will offer the applicant a personal hearing to consider the application. तो एक personal hearing होगी और उस personal hearing में आपसे पूछा जाएगा क्या गलती हुई, क्यों हुई, क्या उस गलती को रिजॉल्व कर लिया, ओके वेरी गुड, पेनल्टी पे करो, चले जाओ. दैट इज द पार्ट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. कंपाउंडिंग ऑर्डर, इफ द एप्लीकेशन इज अप्रूव्ड then RBI will issue a compounding order specifying the amount to be paid. और ये जो अमाउंट आपको पे करनी है, पेनल्टी जो आपको पे करनी है, you have only 15 days to make the penalty. If you have not paid the penalty in 15 days, then in that particular case you will be going, or your case will be going to ED. In that particular case your case will be going to ED. समझ आ गई बात, क्लियर हो गया. Compounding can help minimize the transaction cost as well as overall burden of complying with FEMA regulations. As I already said, गलती खुद मान लो, खुद पहुंच जाओ तो सस्ते में छूट जाओगे. It allows for administrative closures of issues without need for formal or legal proceedings, which is a better part. Next point is certain important considerations with respect to compounding. All necessary approvals and compliances should be completed before applying the compounding. Matlab, let's suppose you have not followed a particular guideline of RBI. That is, you have to appoint 3 board of directors. I'm just taking an example. And deadline was 1st of April 2025. On 1st of May, you realized कि यार मेरी कंपनी में तो अभी भी बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स 2 है और आरबीआई ने कहा था डेडलाइन 1st अप्रैल है. दैट मींस आई हैव ब्रीच्ड FEMA, I have violated FEMA guidelines. Then in that particular case, I will myself go to RBI कि सारा RBI ये गलती हो गई. You asked me to have 3 board of directors, but in my company I had only 2. But don't worry, I have corrected my mistake, and after correcting my mistake I have come in front of you for compounding. Compounding means कि now let's settle it down. Now you charge a penalty, but before I am applying for compounding, I have already completed all the compliances and approvals which are required related to the guidelines which I have breached. There is a cooling off period of 3 years after a contravention has been compounded before a similar contravention can be compounded again, which means let's suppose RBI ने कहा था 3 board of directors in a company by 1st April 2025. I'm talking about which companies, and I'm talking about an authorized dealer which is involved in foreign exchange. ठीक, I contravened it और मैंने contravene करके May में I approached to RBI and I have done the compounding. So in May 2025, I have done the compounding. Now in this particular case, RBI revised these guidelines again. RBI ने revise करके कहा, या RBI ने 3 ही रखा और revise करके इसे increase कर दिया 5. उसकी जो deadline थी मैंने वो deadline भी achieve नहीं की. I have not appointed 2 more board of directors by the deadline, and this contravention was done in, let's say, May 2027. So if you have done 2 simultaneous similar, if you have done 2 similar contraventions, same contravention, similar contravention within a span of 3 years, then this second, or I would say then only first contravention will be eligible. Only first contravention will be eligible for compounding. After that, whether you make 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, how many times ever you make the contraventions, that won't be compounded. That means उस case में you cannot come back to RBI to settle it down at a very low value of penalty. That will not be allowed. समझ आई ये बात? So you will enjoy compounding facility for a mistake, for a violation of FEMA once in 3 years for a particular guideline. If you have made the violation of the same guideline again, and that too within a span of 3 years, then that second mistake or the successive mistake after first will not be eligible for compounding. In that case, FEMA Act will be applicable and strong harsh proceedings will be taken up. ठीक है जी, clear हुआ ये point? Moving on to the second point. Let's suppose today I made a contravention in guideline 1 and I made the same contravention again, but after 3 years. Then after 3 years everything is refreshed. वो कहते हैं ना, it's okay, सुबह का भूला घर वापस आ जाए. तो okay guys, I hope I'm audible now. Okay, fine, sorry for that. Chalo, let's quickly conclude this. So as I was discussing ki there is a cooling period, and the cooling period is 3 years. That means if you are making a mistake, if you have made a mistake today, or if you have not fulfilled certain guideline today, then you will be eligible for compounding. But if you are making the second breach, second violation on the same guidelines, on the same rules, on the same norms within a span of 3 years, then it won't be eligible for compounding. But after span of 3 years, it will be again eligible for compounding. We will feel, or it will be considered as कि पहले जैसे कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. इट विल बी टेकन अप इन दिस मैनर कि जैसे पहले कुछ हुआ ही नहीं। ठीक, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट। अगर आप कोई पेमेंट जो आपके ऊपर पेनल्टी चार्ज हुई, इफ यू आर नॉट मेकिंग द पेनल्टी पेमेंट, देन योर केस विल बी फॉरवर्डेड फ्रॉम आरबीआई टू ईडी एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड। चलो, so this is contravention, this is compounding, and next time if this question is asked what is compounding and contravention, I hope you will be clear with this particular point. Please pay attention. Master direction, compounding of contraventions under FEMA. Provision of section 15 of FEMA Act enable compounding of contravention. So compounding of contravention means settlement of contravention is done. Settlement of contravention is done as per section 15 of FEMA 1999. RBI is given the power, so RBI has been given the power to compound these contraventions as of section 13 of FEMA, but RBI is not allowed to compound. RBI is not allowed to compound those contraventions which are under section 3A of FEMA 1999. अब ये पॉइंट आता है कि सर ये contraventions कौन कौन सी है under section 3. So remember that section 3 of FEMA prohibits in dealing or transferring foreign exchange or foreign securities to any person who is not authorized person. Not authorized person means the person who is not authorized by RBI. जिस person को RBI ने allow नहीं किया to involve in the foreign transaction, whether it is an Indian entity or outside India entity, and if you are dealing, you are transferring the foreign currency, you are transferring the foreign securities to those entities which are not authorized by RBI, then those I would say transactions, firstly they are prohibited, and any issue regarding those transactions will not be handled by RBI. क्योंकि भैया आपने transaction उससे की जिसको RBI ने authorize ही नहीं किया. जब RBI ने authorize नहीं किया, RBI has no power to settle down. Then in that particular case, settlement will be done by the government or by the department, that is ED. I hope it is clear. So restricted activities, it prohibits dealing or transferring foreign exchange or foreign securities to any other authorized person. So this is not an allowed transaction. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये allowed है. RBI ने अगर RBI allowed नहीं है इसे इन चीजों को हैंडल करने के लिए, तो कोई और हैंडल करेगा. ये कोई लीगल या ये allowed transaction नहीं है. You are not allowed to transfer the funds to or to get involved in the foreign exchange with the unauthorized person. If you are getting involved, then penalty or the strict actions will be taken, but those penalties, those strict actions will be taken by whom? So they will be taken by ED, not by RBI, or RBI is not allowed to compound those kind of contraventions. Remember that. What is authorized person? It refers to the individuals or entities. Authorized person का मतलब ये बस समझ लेना आप और मैं. Individual or entities authorized by RBI to deal in foreign currency or to deal in foreign exchange are known as authorized person. अब बात करते हैं गवर्नमेंट के अनाउंसमेंट्स की. तो गवर्नमेंट के जो अनाउंसमेंट्स है, I'll directly start my discussion from there. So this was the government announcement. Government of India notified foreign exchange compounding proceeding rules 2024 in suppression of the foreign exchange compounding proceeding rules 2000. तो 2000 के जो रूल्स थे उसे क्या किया? सुपरसीड कर दिया या सप्रेस कर दिया. उसकी जगह क्या आ गया? फॉरेन एक्सचेंज कंपाउंडिंग प्रोसीडिंग रूल्स 2024. In terms of section 15 of FEMA, any contravention under section 13 except section 3A of the act may, on an application made by the person committing such contravention, be compounded within 180 days. तो सबसे पहला पॉइंट क्या? सर सबसे पहली चीज कंपाउंडिंग अलाउड है अगर आपके पास एप्लीकेशन आई है विद इन 180 डेज. कंपाउंडिंग अलाउड है आरबीआई द्वारा. कंपाउंडिंग अलाउड है आरबीआई द्वारा एज पर सेक्शन 13, और ये पूरे का पूरा कंपाउंडिंग प्रोसेस अलाउड है अंडर सेक्शन 15. लेकिन जो ट्रांजैक्शंस की गई है अंडर सेक्शन 3A और वो ट्रांजैक्शंस विच आर इंक्लूडेड अंडर सेक्शन 3A और एनी ट्रांजैक्शन और एनी फॉरेन एंटिटी ट्रांजैक्शन डन विद द अनऑथराइज्ड पर्सन, दैट विल नॉट बी compounded by RBI. For that compoundment, RBI is not allowed. For that case, we have ED. For that case, we have ED. अब ध्यान से देखना. अब जैसे ही अलाउ किया गया RBI को, yes, you handle those or you compound those contraventions which are mentioned under section 13, then RBI will be appointing an officer who is going to compound it, who is going to settle down it, and those officers will be appointed on the basis of their designation with respect to the issue value, with respect to the contravention value. I'll just make you understand. In case where the sum involved in contravention does not exceed 60 lakhs, अगर आपका जो contravention है it is up to 60 lakh rupees, मतलब जो भी आपने penalty, जो भी आपने norm complete नहीं की, that is for some value which is less than 60 lakhs, then in that particular case assistant general manager will be appointed as an adjudicating authority, as an I would say settlement or compounding authority. In case your sum value involved is up to or 60 lakhs to 2.5 crore, then in that particular case deputy general manager will be appointed. Above 2.5 but up till 5 crores general manager, and if the contravention involves transaction value of more than 5 crores, then chief general manager will be appointed. याद नहीं करना, it's nothing to remember, it's just to read. Why I have given this reference? ताकि आपको पता चल जाए कि resolve कैसे होगा. आपने apply किया, it's fine. You applied for it कि सर ये मुझसे गलती हुई है, I want to get it compounded. You applied, it's okay. You applied, it's okay. But RBI will be appointing an officer who will be looking after it, who will be completing this compounding process, who will be accepting your application, then reviewing it, charging the penalty, looking forward that you will be paid the penalty, and once you have paid the penalty, the settlement will be closed. So for that particular purpose, an individual will be appointed as a compounding authority, and that will depend on the value which is involved under the contravention. But if the transaction the contravention is included under section 3. So if I say person contravenes the provision of section 3A of this particular act, then who will be involved? Sir, ED will be involved. Then who will be involved? As you can see, ED will be involved, and ED will again be appointing a person who is going to be the compounding authority, and in that particular case, compounding authority will be dependent on the sum involved again. So where the sum involved in the contravention is 5 lakh or below, then deputy director. If it is 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, additional director, so on. Designation is given in the PDF for you all just to read, ताकि आपको पता चल जाए कि ED कब इन्वॉल्व है, कौन ऑफिसर्स हैं, RBI कब इन्वॉल्व है और RBI के कौन ऑफिसर्स हैं who are going to compound it. Lastly, there is one more statement which was given under the government new norms. अभी मैं government की बात कर रहा हूँ, RBI पे तो मैं भी आया ही नहीं हूँ. तो under the new norms, if any person contravenes any provision of FEMA or any rule, regulation, direction, notification, then in exercise of the powers under this act or contravenes any condition subject to which an authorization is issued by RBI, he or shall be liable to be charged with the penalty. And what is the penalty value? As I stated earlier, up to 3 times the sum involved in such contravention, or where you cannot calculate the sum, penalty value will be 2 lakhs. And if the contravention is being continued, then on that particular case, 5,000 rupees every day will be charged as a penalty. 5,000 rupees every day will be charged as a penalty. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? So I have not completed this news, but I have given you half of the picture, or I would say 80% of the picture is given, 20% is left. Why I have not shown you the entire picture today? Because in this case, I was expecting that there is a probability that you will get confused. Compounding, contravention, खुद कोई क्यों जाएगा, अपनी गलती क्यों मानेगा, गवर्नमेंट का क्या इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, आरबीआई का क्या इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, ईडी का क्या इन्वॉल्वमेंट है. आई थिंक द स्टेज इज सेट. अब स्टेज सेट हो गया है. You all know what is this master direction is all about, why it is introduced, what is the role of RBI, what is the role of ED, when ED will come in, when RBI will come in, what is compounding, what is contravention. If all these points are clear, in the next session I'll again start with the same news. But I will be directly focusing on the RBI rules or RBI's master direction. Is it fine, everyone? Is it fine? Okay, so that will be all from my side in this particular session. We'll be catching you all soon. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care, guys. I'm really very sorry there was some issue in the mid of this session, but I hope you have enjoyed the session. I have given you 2 homeworks. I've given you 2 homework questions. one is related to the ATM transaction value, one is related to the ATM transaction value, and one more question I have given, I don't remember right now. So do answer both the questions in the comment section. As well as guys, one more thing which I would like to add over here. Many of you are facing the issues how to prepare for finance current affairs. So I will be soon taking up a session, guys. I'll take up a live session where you can ask your doubts live, that how you can prepare effectively not only for finance current affairs, but for that matter your entire preparation, where we will be focusing majorly on finance current affairs. I'll let you know how to study, what not to study, how to revise, how to recall all these datas. We will be discussing all these points in one of the live session pretty soon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prateek. Thank you. So that will be all, guys. But honestly, I am very disappointed today because you were not able to answer the questions which I have asked from the previous session. First reason why I am not satisfied with the class today. Second is the live count. So guys, if you are not keeping up the live count at least 50, the motivation will be pretty less, and I don't want to be less motivated because I want to give you much and much relevant content and in a very explanatory manner so that you can clear the examination. So please, in the next class, do try to answer the questions which I will be revising in the starting from the previous session covered news, and secondly, try to join this session live, and the count of live sessions should be very high. You should ask your friends to join this session for sure. Okay guys, so I don't want this disappointment in the next class. I hope you will do that. Thank you so much guys. Thank you. We'll catch you soon. Bye bye. Take care. Good luck. God bless you.